Hello, and welcome to my presentation on community colleges. I will be going over the history, structure, funding, and challenges facing community colleges today. Let's begin by talking about what community colleges are. Community colleges are a vital part of the American higher education system. They are an accessible and cost effective path for many students to enhance their skills, advance their careers, or transition to a four-year institution. Next, let's take a quick look at the history of community colleges. The first community college opened in 1901 in Chicago. Joliet Junior College was an offshoot of the University of Chicago and set a precedent for accessible education. In the aftermath of World War II, the GI Bill allowed a huge swath of the population to attend college. In the following decades, community colleges began to expand their programs to fit the needs of non traditional students. During this time, the number of community colleges ballooned up to 12,000 across the nation. In the 2000s and 2010s, community colleges continued to innovate with alternative methods of delivery and incorporated more technology into education. Continuing to this present day, we are still dealing with the repercussions of the COVID 19 pandemic. Colleges were forced to adapt to distance learning and increase attention into meeting student needs. More recently, President Trump's executive orders and his Department of Education have signaled a shift in the landscape, the full implications of which we are still seeing play out. That was a brief overview of the history. Now, let's talk about who attends community colleges. Students from a diverse background are attracted to community colleges because of their affordability and the open door policy. The average age of students is 27. However, it's important to note that roughly 1 in 10 students is over the age of 40. Students are diverse not just in age, but in ethnic backgrounds. 42% of students are white, meaning that a majority of students are made up of Hispanic, Black, Asian, and other ethnicities. Community colleges offer a reduced barrier to entry, attracting part time and first generation students, as well as students with disabilities and single parents. Next, we go on to how these institutions are governed and organized. There are two major fashions in which community colleges are governed. The first, which Maricopa falls under, is the local governing board structure, in which community colleges are governed by locally elected officials. Their responsibilities include setting institutional goals as well as hiring and overseeing a team of executives to carry out the organization's duties. The benefit to this is being able to more effectively meet the needs of the local community. The second method is a statewide system of governance in which the state controls all of higher education. The benefit to this would be standardized policies and procedures in which transferring between institutions is much easier. Now, let's take a look at the organizational structure within community colleges. They are divided into various departments that are academic, administrative, and student facing in nature. Let's take a closer look at some key departments. The Office of the President is responsible for administering policies, developing college wide goals, establishing the organizational structure of the college, as well as setting the tone and establishing how the college is seen by outside entities, such as local governments and businesses. The President hires a team of executives to oversee the day to day operations. The Office of Academic Affairs is concerned with the teaching and learning that happens within the walls of the college. The Vice President of Academic Affairs oversees this department. They rely on deans to manage the academic departments, which are run by a department chair who supervises the faculty and staff of that department. The Vice President of Administrative Services is responsible for financial matters and plant operations. Often, functions of human resources and informational technology fall under this domain, though sometimes they are their own department with its own executive. Student Affairs is charged with matriculation services as well as outreach, recruitment, advising, and career services. Student life activities that allow students to develop interpersonal skills and student organizations that present leadership opportunities are the responsibilities of student services departments. In order to meet the diverse needs of students, colleges need equally diverse employees. Colleges don't just need faculty to deliver their curriculum, they need a wide range of staff to make it possible for faculty to perform. Administrative personnel and support staff operate in the background to facilitate learning. A key distinction has to be made between staff and faculty. For associate degree granting programs, faculty are required to have at least a master's degree in their discipline. Part time adjunct positions are a flexible way that colleges can fill instructional roles. Staff can range from administrative support to facilities and safety personnel. Moving forward to identifying funding sources for community colleges. In Arizona, community colleges receive a large majority of their funding from local appropriations and tuition. In 2005, these sources accounted for 94% of Maricopa County Community Colleges district's revenue. The district collected 171 million in general tuition. Though tuition is a substantial revenue source, a major tenet of community colleges is to remain financially accessible. Our district's tuition still remains substantially lower than state universities at 97 per credit hour versus roughly 1,000 per credit hour. Other sources of funding do exist, but they are inconsistent and not as substantial. Funding from the federal and state government often comes in the form of grants that support specific initiative. In Arizona, some funding from state sales tax is granted by Prop 301 and 207. Though a majority of Arizona community college funding comes from local sources, state and federal decisions can have implications that affect them. For example, in 2015, the Obama administration made America's College promise of making education free for those willing to work for it. In opposition, recently, President Donald Trump's executive orders and his Department of Education have indicated a shift in priorities. We'll now look at the teaching and learning that happens within community colleges. Colleges have to ensure that their curriculum meets standards to fully prepare students for transfer and to meet workplace demands. Accreditation is a form of quality assurance for higher education. Organizations like the Higher Learning Commission and its members are part of the Integrity Triad in the United States. The commission ensures that its members meet specific requirements and indicates that that institution deserves the public's trust in its operation. In addition to accrediting bodies, other factors such as articulation, governing agencies, and student outcomes play a role in curriculum development. Community colleges should foster partnerships to help align curriculum with institutional goals. Partnerships with universities can help facilitate transfers. Collaborating with industry partners can help focus programs on marketable skills. And working with K through 12 school districts can increase recruitment and dual enrollment. These partnerships will ultimately benefit all parties, especially students. They can also open the door to alternative methods of delivering education that were popularized during the COVID-19 pandemic. This brings us to the future of community colleges. In order for community colleges to be ready for the challenges the future will bring, they need to be ready and willing to adapt. They need to be focused on new instructional methods and formats, as well as partner with industry and business interests. What challenges will community colleges face? First is funding constraints. Senior administrators must seek out novel sources of funding that secure the sustainability of the institution. Limited resources can negatively impact services across the college. Additionally, colleges must be able to withstand economic turmoil as was seen during the COVID pandemic. Next, enrollment trends are sure to see a major shift due to changing perspectives on the value of higher education as well as declining birth rates. The 15 to 19-year-old population is expected to drop in the upcoming years due to the recession of 2008, and even steeper declines are expected later this century. With fewer students, there is sure to be competition to attract these students to our institutions. Fewer people are seeing the importance of higher education today than they did a decade ago. Today, only 35% of adults think that college is very important. This could be due to the number of unemployed or underemployed college graduates. So, colleges need to redefine the programs to ensure that more graduates are ready for jobs upon graduation. By addressing these issues, community colleges will be well equipped to face the challenges of the future. Thank you for your time.